Hey, join me as I show you how to capture the attention of your virtual audience. Do you think I can keep them engaged for a full hour? Maybe even longer. Hey, when you're leading a Zoom meeting and you're looking at all those boxes, do you find yourself overwhelmed and exhausted looking at the faces of people who are clearly checking email, not getting responses to any of your questions? Well, hey, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share you 3 revolutionary ways to not just capture the attention of your audience, but to truly get them to engage. And they're not exactly what most people are recommending. I think you're going to like this quite a bit. Well, hey there, just real quick. My name is Josh Friberg, and I work as a meeting designer and facilitator and really specialize in creating deep human connection at speed and scale. I'm a certified XCHANGE guide, and I love this work because I think it makes a real difference for real humans. But what the heck has happened lately? We've started to get into these virtual environments, and we find that 80% of people who get on a Zoom call, a call on Microsoft Teams, or some other type of digital gathering, virtual gathering, they say that it was boring, that it was ineffective, that it was a bad use of their time. And if you've had to lead these meetings, you know how dreadful it feels on this side when you know you're leading a meeting that feels just like that. Well, how can we fix that? I'm going to give you 3 ways. I'm going to start with this one, which is you must prioritize human connection immediately. That is, within the first 2 to 3 minutes of any kind of gathering where you're bringing people together in a virtual environment like this, is we need to take advantage of the fact that it's humans that are on the call. You see, if the purpose of a meeting is just to transfer information, cancel the meeting, record a video, and send it out. But if we actually want to meet, we need to meet. We need to actually connect humans. So how can you do that? The simplest way to do this in Zoom, which is the primary tool that I use, is to utilize the breakout rooms. To begin with a question, give people an opportunity to think about and reflect on the question, and then very quickly put them into breakout rooms of 2, 3, 4 people where they can then discuss the question. Now, there's different ways of doing this, but the most important thing that you're doing when you open a meeting like this is you are creating connection. You're giving people an opportunity to speak and to share and to participate fully in your meeting. It completely changes the dynamic of, oh, I'll just turn this on while I'm driving, or I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off during this meeting, because we've created an environment where they actually get to be eyeball to eyeball with another person, right? When we're on the big grid, right? Who am I looking at, and who even is looking at me? It's why it's okay suddenly to turn off our camera. But if I'm in a screen with just 1 or 2 other people, well, now I really not only get the opportunity, but I have a positive social pressure to engage fully. Now, this is completely unnerving the first few times you do it as the leader of a meeting or a convener of a meeting, because it feels like nothing's happening. You put people into breakout rooms and they disappear. And you know what they're doing, right? Are they just like screwing off in those rooms? What are they doing? And this is why you want to design it really carefully so that they know what to do, how to engage and connect once they go into these side rooms, right? When they come back, there's 2 things that you want to be looking for. First of all, complaints that the time was too short. If you get complaints that the time was too short, you are doing it perfectly. You want to leave them wanting more. But in this first strategy where we're going to create connection, we actually want them. Boy, they were connecting so well that it felt like the time ended too early. And then the second thing, if you've created the right environment, you're going to open up the opportunity for people to come off mute and share what happened in their breakout rooms, or what they talked about, or what learnings they had, or anything else that may have come up. And if you're getting 2, 3, 4 people to do that, you're doing a great job of creating human connection. At this point, when you're now doing one of the purposes of the meeting, which might be to convey information, might be to get input on a decision that needs to be made, inform people about a decision that needs to be made, engage people on maybe accountability around their role, or whatever other reason you have for gathering. Now you're able to move into that with people who are activated, energized, connected to one another. One of the most important things that humans look for is a sense of belonging and meaning. And yet so many of our Zoom calls are us just puking at people instead of inviting them in to be part of what we're doing. So, first rule, make connection a first priority. The second idea here of how you can capture the attention of your Zoom audience and really keep it going is really counterintuitive, and it's hard for a lot of us to do. And that is set clear rules and enforce them. Set clear rules and enforce them. Well, why is this so hard? And I learned this from Priya Parker in her book, The Art of Gathering. See, in culture, we have etiquette, which is a set of rules that we all sort of intuitively know and agree to. We've been taught it along the way by our culture. But when we start moving into a Zoom meeting, we haven't built etiquette for Zoom. We haven't built etiquette, or if the etiquette we have built is really bad, which is just sort of like, hey, if you're going to be distracted or whatever, turn off your camera. No, like set rules for the engagement. Then people know how to behave. They know how to behave. It's actually a service we offer. It's actually a gift we give to people when we tell them very clearly what the narrowly defined etiquette will be for this short meeting, let's say for an hour. Now people go, oh, good, I feel comfortable. I know what I'm getting myself into. I understand how we're going to behave, how we're going to treat each other. And so we set rules. An example might be, hey, and you could do this in an email as part of the invitation. You could do it at the opening of the call. Today, this Zoom is going to be very interactive. In fact, we ask everybody to not be driving, to have your camera on and be prepared to unmute when we invite opportunities for people to share audibly. Hey, if you can't do that, this session, this call might not be for you. And so if that's okay, in the next 30 seconds or so, go ahead and excuse yourself from the call. No problem. We have another one coming up you could be a part of. But go ahead and step out, because we're going to want everybody to be available. And you're going to want to be able to interact fully and completely in order to get the most out of this call. Something like that. When you set those rules, people go, oh, great. Good. I didn't want to be a part of it anyway. I'm going to check out. I was planning to just kind of have it playing in the background while I drove or did my taxes. Great. Have your time back. When we give people rules, we actually give them freedom. Freedom to operate fully within the rules. See, if they don't have rules, then they don't know where the boundaries are. And there's fear around when am I going to butt up against those. So, second tip for how to capture the attention of your audiences and honestly get them wanting more is to create clear rules and etiquette for your session. And here's the last one. And this is so important. And it is so effective, which is give them something to do every 3 to 7 minutes. Every 3 to 7 minutes, give your audience, give your participants something to do, to actually engage. We talk a lot lately in our industry about audience engagement, but then we don't actually engage them, right? We don't give them anything to engage in. What we actually do is just try to entertain, and it is exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting because you have to be bigger and louder and more energetic than anybody on all of those boxes. But when you're giving people something to do, they actually bring energy to the Zoom gathering, right? To the virtual meeting. And there's lots of great ways to do this. And one of the things to think about when you're thinking about this, give them something to do, is recognize this is a way to bring energy up. And there's only kind of a couple ways to do it. And the hard way to do it is to just get bigger and louder and more entertaining, right? Do more gimmicks. The better way to do it is to help your audience to provide that energy. And so one of the quickest ways to do that is what I mentioned at the beginning, is to give them a question, put them into small groups, give them a chance to talk about it and respond. They create energy while they're in those groups. Another way to do that is invite them into their physical environment. See, we have this weird thing with Zoom where it's like, this feels disembodied, right? I'm talking to this 2-dimensional screen while I'm standing in a 3-dimensional space. And so I've had some of the most hardened, turned off audiences ever respond so quickly when I say, hey, we're going to do a quick scavenger hunt. Take 90 seconds to go grab a physical object that's inside the room you're in that represents something important to you about this meeting that we're going to be in. And so you'll see people scrambling around, and they grab the surfing frog, and they share a quick story about how the surfing frog is important to them on meeting their sales figures for Q3. Right? It allows them to get creative, to get generative, to be engaged. They have something to do. How else can we do something to do? Real simple one. Hey, everybody, in the chat, type one word that captures how you're feeling about today, or one phrase under 5 words that summarizes what you just learned from our guest speaker. And then people start typing in the chat. You read out a handful of those chats, and now people have something to do. They know they're being watched. They know they're being appreciated. This is a great way to capture the attention. Well, does it work? Does this even work? Heck yeah, it works. I'm going to share just a quick story with you. I was teaching a group of real estate agents on Zoom, and these folks actively disliked Zoom, but it was kind of the only way we could do it because of geography and timing and a few other things. And they were mad about it. But what we had agreed to was doing a 2-day class that was 6 hours a day. I just want you to hear that. 2-day class that was 6 hours a day. And I use these techniques of creating connection, of having clear rules and enforcing them, and giving them something to do every 3 to 7 minutes. Yes, that takes some creativity over 12 hours, but we did it anyway. I'm going to share with you what happened at the end of each of those 2 6-hour days. At the end, I said, hey, we're going to be finished here in a minute, and it's 3 o'clock, we're going to be done. You're welcome to leave. That's when I told you we would be done. We are done. You're welcome to leave, but if you want to stick around, you can do that. Both days, people stayed on the call for between 60 and 90 minutes, and not just a few. 70% of the people who came to this Zoom meeting stayed an additional 1 to 1.5 hours after the 6-hour session was over. To the point that I actually had to leave and gave co-hosting rights to somebody else and said, hey, I got to go, but you guys stay as long as you like. And that's when they stayed the full 1.5 hours after the call. You see, we think that to capture people's attention, we need to be more entertaining, right? We need to be bigger, louder, funnier, more interesting. But what we actually have to do is give them something to do, a way to participate fully. Give them a sense of meaning and belonging. Give them safety with clear boundaries and rules so that they know what to do. This is how you actually engage people and keep their attention, not just for an hour, but for hours and days on end when you're meeting in a virtual environment. Hey, if you stuck with me this long and you like this kind of thing, would you do me a favor and subscribe to the channel? Maybe give a like on this video. It helps a lot with YouTube. And check back out our other videos. We're going to talk more and more about how we can create connected and collaborative events. And this is how we elevate our people and elevate our events.